Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight. What do I mean by that? I mean, anybody who comes on this show or my twice-a-week long-form podcast is active in the transportation industry, all right? There's no theory on any of this stuff. It's people that are out there doing what you're looking to do, or who are currently, who have done what you're looking to do, or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so we can put that information out there that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. As always, it's one of the many reasons why I probably fly this American flag in here. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. Tracy St. Clair watching over on YouTube. I go live on YouTube and Twitter, as well as LinkedIn every single day, you guys. And this is a great time to let you know that if you are having streaming issues on LinkedIn, jump over to YouTube. The YouTube channel is The Freight Coach, and jump in over there and watch it on there, because I've heard that the streaming capabilities are exponentially better over on YouTube than they are over on LinkedIn. But yeah, we're back after a holiday break. I know pretty much everybody who tunes into this show was working yesterday, but obviously it was Memorial Day yesterday. I hope you guys took a moment to reflect and give appreciation to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice to make us able to live in this country and take advantage of all of this stuff. But yeah, we're gonna do it's solo show today. I think I got a couple of guests locked in for later this week. Friday will be Q&A. So if you have any sales or operations related questions for the transportation industry, drop them in the feed here on whatever streaming service you're on, or DM them over to me and I will answer them live on Friday's show. Before we go any further, as always, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. You guys, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers. And the best part about with what they have, you get paid to move these. That's right. You get paid to move these trailers on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out. So what they got going on right now, Stoughton, Wisconsin, going over to, Milton, Ontario, you get $350 per trailer. There's like 140 something of these over there, you guys. And you can create a drop trailer pool at your shipper. They don't just have to pick up somewhere out of Stoughton. Like, you can bring them down to Chicago. There's a ton of freight that moves between Chicago and Toronto alone, and you can create a drop trailer pool out there. And then they're also working Chattanooga, Tennessee, going over to Clinton, Oklahoma. This expires tomorrow. It's $400 US to move that. They also have a bunch of trailers out in San Diego going all over the country. They got them going to Georgia, Arkansas, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Tennessee, Texas, you name it. And they range between $1,100 and $2,200 per trailer. So jump over there, you guys. Those rates expire June 2nd. And then finally, they got Paragould, Arkansas, going up to Mississauga, Ontario, $736 US to do that. And same thing, you guys, you can create that drop trailer pool over there at shippers. So hit them up, you guys, vhubapp.com. My friends Zach Lonergan and Stacy Steen, they will be in the audience. Just do me a favor, let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. All right, Matt Klaus, dude, nice work. He says, hello, I did my first load this past week. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Keep it up. Literally keep it up. Sonny Sharma, good morning, Orange Shirt Gang. Let's fucking go. Amen to that, Sonny. Angel Garvin, good morning. Thanks for tuning in, as always. V, do a Q&A with shippers for viewers on what they like and don't see in a pitch cold call. And bet Tony Darnell would give out all his trade secrets. I would love that, man. And you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to reach out to all my friends that are shippers and see if anybody has the time on Friday to do something like this. And, again, I do interview shippers all the time, you guys, on my stuff, and they give you literal keys to success out there in some of my past episodes on my podcast. I don't have the episode numbers in front of me right now, but I interview shippers to V's point, and they tell you exactly what you can do, what you should do, and how you should prospect them, because that's the number one question I get all the time. How do I find shippers? They tell you in there. Stephen Thompson, good morning. Thanks for tuning in, my man. But yeah, and this kind of brings me into what I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit here right now, is because I'm seeing the sense of defeat out there all over social media right now, because it's challenging, right? Like, this is where the pretenders are exposed and the performers are rewarded. This is, because it's like, it's supposed to be hard, right? Like, I think, and I know I've mentioned this, like, there's such a false sense of like, why isn't this easy? Why isn't it that when I call this shipper or email this shipper that they just add me to their distribution list and all of a sudden I'm moving all this freight for them? And it's one of those things, like, this is supposed to be like, you're supposed to add value. That's the expectation. Just because you offer a service or because I can do what they're looking for, that doesn't mean I'm entitled to shit. I have to earn that through every single outreach. Every single time that I cold call somebody and I don't get a response, or I cold email them and I don't get a response, I needed to be better in my approach. That's what I'm reaching out, and that's what I'm striving for, because the opportunities are out there, you guys. There is an opportunity in any market. No matter what anybody out there wants to say, there is massive opportunities for you to capitalize on. But you can't play into this, oh, poor me fucking narrative that you see out there. You can't play into this whole, oh, shit's, of course it's fucking, it can be bad out there. It's going to be challenging. It's supposed to be challenging. And once you can accept that, and you can actually understand that you're the only one who's responsible for the success of your business, the success of your book of business, shut out all the outside noise that's out there, all the people out there who are saying how fucking challenging and this and that and everything else under the sun. What if somebody else is going through does not affect your business. It doesn't have to affect your business at all. And you should be very aware of that as we're navigating through this market. And you know what? Looking at the overall macro economy, this might be the reality for quite some time, right? And I'm not saying that rates aren't going to raise. I'm not saying that isn't going to happen, but the need for excess freight might not be there, right? It might not. I don't know. Nobody's data, or nobody has the crystal ball that's going to sit here and say at this day, at this time, things are going to shift. Like I've said on this show numerous times, I feel that the market is going to shift later this year. That's just my gut. That's based off of my actual experience in building books of business and businesses inside of the transportation industry from the ground up, right? And that's just what my gut's telling me. But the capacity being what it is, and shippers onboarding people at the levels they were these last couple of years, I don't know if that's ever going to come back. I don't know if it ever is. The opportunities are out there, though, if you're a quality provider. And that's where your mindset has to be, is how do I get out there and earn somebody's attention? Because you are literally taking time out of their day. They're not just sitting around waiting for us to reach out to them, right? Like they like outbound freight or whatever it is like 5% of their day, maybe 10%. They have so much other shit that's going on throughout their day. And for you to get their attention, you better make it worth their time on why you are reaching out to them. This is why I am so vehemently against exploratory phone calls about, hey, I'd like to see what you do. No, fuck that. Go in there with a plan. You know exactly what they do. You know exactly how they're going to load their stuff, what their operations look like, what their possible distribution network looks like. It's all out there, you guys. It's all out there on their website, their social media, all that shit's out there. It just takes fucking effort to go in and actually look for it, right? And so just, again, have that plan in place and get out there and I all but guarantee, I can't guarantee anything, but I would strongly advise on when you apply this, you'll see a big difference in your outreach. So that's my little spiel today. I'll have my people connect with your people, and we can, see what we can make happen for this Friday. Just throwing that out there. Dylan Turner, good Tuesday morning. Let's go. He's out there making stuff happen. He's over on YouTube as well. But let's get into the articles here. As always, you guys, when I'm doing solo shows like this, I wanted to make one note also. The market out of because I know we were talking last Friday with my man Cody, produce, all that stuff, ANZ Trucking, they're my produce people. They're who I literally talk to anytime I want to know about the produce market. I looked back at, because we talked about Nogales this morning or last Friday, and I pulled up that today. There's 1,000 loads posted to 100 trucks. So if you have a reefer and you are anywhere near Nogales, Arizona, get into that market, because that freight is going to start paying a shitload of money if it's not already. I was looking over on, because again, Green Screens is a partner of mine. Not only do they support the show, but I also use them in my brokerage to price out my freight. If you want to learn more about them, greenscreens.ai/freight coach, hit them up, you guys, because I was looking at that this morning based on that and seeing the pricing change in that market alone. And Green Screens literally lays it all out there for you. It shows you how things are trending. It's going to get fun in some of these produce markets as long as that volume's there. But this is good for truckers. This is going to be a massive breath of fresh air into the reefer market in some of these produce areas. All right. So to all my drivers out there who are listening to this, if you got a reefer trailer, and then but what also, things to take into consideration when you're looking at this, even if you don't have a reefer trailer, for example, and you're in some of these hot produce pockets, what naturally happens is dry van rates are going to start to increase as well. So keep that in mind. And you might be like, well, why would that be an effect on it? Think of all the freight out there that could ship on a van or a reefer when this volume increase isn't happening. What happens? All those reefer trailers go to the produce loads because those are going to naturally pay more money. So what does that do? That takes more capacity out of the dry van reefer freight. Therefore, there's less trucks available. What happens? Same thing. Rates are going to start to increase in that as well. I don't know if it's going to be a short-lived bump or how that's going to look, but that's a welcome sight to any of those drivers that are out there working the spot market in those produce specific areas. You're going to start seeing some rate increases. And, again, hit up my friends over at Green Screens. Just let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. That's who I'm using. We're winning some freight. We're seeing an increase. We're going to have some pretty cool stats coming up here for you guys to, because I'm all about that hard data at the end of the day. All right. Articles. Sorry, I kind of went off on a little tangent there, but I wanted to throw that out there for you guys. As always, all the articles I break down, I upload onto the YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay. Which is available on iTunes and Spotify almost immediately after the show. All right, let's get into it. First article we are going to break down today, ttnews.com, why a down freight cycle is ideal for tech investment. Fleets have time to assess operations for future performance. Trucking and logistics companies have seen market conditions weaken during the past year as spot freight demand has cooled, which we've been talking about. Truck capacity has loosened and the macroeconomic outlook has been cloudy with uncertainty. Despite those headwinds, this market downturn can be an opportunity for transportation companies to lay the foundation for future success. Businesses now have a chance to reassess their operations and invest in people and technologies that better prepare them for the next upcycle. Industry executives said during a panel discussions out there at the TIA Capital Idea Conference. My man JJ Jones was on that one. He was on the podcast a while ago as well. The most successful, fastest growing companies are typically the ones that use these down ramps to really set the table for what is going to look like out there. And that was from Rush Feldhacker. He's the VP of Business Development at Neon Logistics. Neon's out here in Phoenix, you guys. Freight Valley. They invest in tech, they invest in sales, and they get ready because they know the market will turn, whether it's in 12 or 24 months from now. I couldn't agree more with that statement from Rush. Freight brokers have a tendency to overhire and undertrain employees. This is fucking Ryan Schreiber. God, I got to get him on the show. he's a treat. Have the tendency to overhire and undertrain employees while trying to keep up with market fluctuations, hurting their efficiency in the long run. But a down market is an ideal time to break that cycle. Ryan Schreiber, he's with Metaphora. He's a consulting firm out there. He recommends that brokers seize the opportunity to invest in strategic planning to help smooth out market cycles in the future. Do a post-mortem on what the last upcycle looked like. Where are you really, really struggling? Freight brokers that gain business due to their access to capacity when available trucks were scarce must provide new value out there to customers in other ways, says Jason Roberts with Mode Global. Your value prop as a broker has to change when the market's down cycles like it has today. Capacity is no longer king. He advised logistics companies to review their customers and provide them with deeper market insights. What else can you bring to the table? And then also, as transportation business set out the groundwork, technology deployment will be essential. And let me see here. I like here's the thing. Technology to me, whether you're a broker, whether you're a trucking company, what tasks can you automate, right? And for me, it's not automation to replace people, it's automation to enhance my team. I think that at the end of the day, human beings can only move so fast. No, I'm not a chat GPT, AI backer, yada, 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 when it comes down to some of these people who are like, let's completely remove the human element from things. And I think that AI, when utilized properly, especially like when it comes down to like rating and stuff like that, how do I like it can compute at a lot faster rate than I can as a human, and I can quote more loads a lot faster than I can as just one person, right? Like I was able through, again, I utilized green screens on this. I filled out an RFP last week and I was able to bid out 25 lanes in like fucking 2 seconds, right? I can't do that as a single person and going down. And like I'll double check everything. But again, I can't compute that stuff that fast. But what does that do? That opens me up so I don't miss out on any other quotes, especially when you're scaling, right? Because in my brokerage, Freight Coach Logistics, obviously we're the top open deck transportation provider in North America, but we can only move so fast, right? And when I have a customer come to me and hit me with 16 lanes that they need rates on in the next, 5 minutes, and then I got another shipper who hits me up and has 1 lane, and then I got a third shipper who says they need another rate on another load, I can only move so fast as a person, right? So utilizing technology to get all of that stuff priced out, that gets me as a one-person operation, for example, I'm able to compete with somebody who's got a team of 30 at that because I can spit out pricing that quick, and I have just as much access to all the exact same capacity as everybody else out there. So I think like that's what they're really getting to in this article in particular, is it's like utilizing that, and then that's what levels the playing field, right? That's why there's so many transportation providers that are out there that are running $20-30 million operations, which, when some people hear that in freight, they think that's small, but it's like, all right, go ahead and build a $30 million operation, then come talk to me and tell me it's small. But, you're out there and this levels the playing field, right? That's why I love automation inside of it to a point, because I can never automate Chris. I can never chat GPT Chris. All right. People work with me because they like me and the value I provide. And that's what I want to get, because you can never automate it, give a fuck. And that's what I will die on. And that's the luxury of owning my own business, is I can make that fucking decision, right? I will die on that hill. You can't automate me or my give a fuck about my customers. All right. And that's what my thing is. This was a really good article talking about technology as a whole. I would definitely hit it up, ttnews.com, why a down freight cycle is ideal for tech investment. And same thing on the carrier side. What can you automate out there? What can you do? And I need to get some of those companies to come on here soon and talk about what they can do out there from a driver situation, owner op, small fleet, to help automate their operations in this market. Matt Klaus says, are free ELDs a joke? I don't know, man. I've never, that would be a Adam Wingfield question. He's my guy when it comes down to everything fleet related. I'm not sure. I've never utilized an ELD for my business. Next article we are going to break down is from the JOC. My good friend Eric Johnson, he wrote this one. And the title of this article is Shippers Bemoan Lack of Progress in Ocean Visibility Despite Heavy Investment. The more than 1.4 billion with a B. Sorry. Tony, I need a lot of drayage. Please DM me about drayage. I'll stop. Please don't do that. Please, for the love of God, don't DM Tony Darnell about drayage. The more than 1.4 billion of VC invested into freight visibility providers over the last 5 years has not yet translated into transformative outcomes for users, shippers say. This is another one of those reasons why I chose this article in particular, because again, we need to hear from the shipper. These are the ones that no matter what, these guys are the ones who are choosing to spend their money with you to move their transportation. So, listening to their feedback is always a positive. A number of shippers who spoke to the JOC in recent weeks describe an environment that is more underwhelming than outright disappointing, citing a lack of progress on historic pain points, notably accurate container terminal milestones and poor insights into modal handoffs at transshipment points. Supply chain visibility is only effective if the data is complete, accurate, and timely, a commodity shipper who has used multiple visibility solutions says. These applications fall short on all three categories. The shipper said his company uses ocean visibility primarily to manage shipment risk. We need to take action on 5 to 10% of our shipments that pose some risk, mostly detention and demurrage related, he said. But the data is poor, so the amount of time spent chasing false negatives detracts from the productivity of our operations group. Another shipper, an import parts supplier to the automotive industry, says she doesn't directly use ocean visibility tools, but sees the data through her 3PLs. Many of the freight forwarders and 3PL portals use visibility providers, but that data isn't as valuable as going directly to the steamship line, rail, or terminal, the shipper said. Relative dissatisfaction with advancements in visibilities comes as visibility providers Project 44 announced Thursday it was laying off 130 people, which is approximately 10% of its workforce. It also comes as Gartner, a technology consultant, released its annual Magic Quadrant report for real-time transportation visibility in mid-May. The report, which aims to contextualize the multimodal visibility market, named P44 and FourKites as leaders, with Shipio, Transperian, and Overhaul as challengers. A slew of ocean-focused visibility providers such as Gatehouse Maritime, Vision, Terminal 49, OpenTrack, Wakio, and Portcast are excluded from the quadrant because they didn't meet Gartner's thresholds for number of customers, geographies, long-served or industry verticals. A number of other providers from established providers such as Lognet and FreightGate to newer entrants such as Gnosis Freight and Bico provide ocean visibility, but it's not their core business. In recent years, Gartner has seen a trend in end user to move more toward global solutions, including more modes rather than single regions or single mode solutions. This is interesting to see, right? And I may or may not be releasing a podcast this week, kind of touching on this a little bit about ocean shipment, ocean visibility, and some other things. I'm not going to say too much because otherwise, why would you listen to the whole episode? May or may not be dropping on Friday, but just saying, it's one of those situations when it comes to visibility, I think has been oversold, right? Like, again, you're listening to the shippers here, the people who would be requesting it. And like even the shippers that I'm talking to, and again, I don't move ocean freight, but the shippers I'm talking to, visibility is never on the table as a, you must have it. It's a value add. Like it brings a sense of ease, I think, to the brokers themselves or the trucking companies themselves that are, it's a value of there. But again, like looking at it and then hearing that, from the shippers that the data points that they're looking for hasn't been solved. Again, what do I see? I see that as an opportunity. I see like looking at this feedback is if you're out there in that space, this might be a good pivot point, or this might be you might be onto something if you're developing out a solution to that right now. Data quality, as the desperation that drove many shippers to engage with visibilities during the pandemic has subsided, the focus has shifted towards data quality. I just want the data. That's funny. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at that. And that's a logistics director at a large US tire manufacturer said, I don't need a dashboard. I don't need a map. I have a team that can visualize things. Just give me the data I can rely on. The data quality issues are especially acute in container terminals where statuses events are often conveyed out of sequence or days late. One shipper suggested the problem lies with the divergence in data that directly generated by an ocean carrier, which is generally good information. Part of the broader dissatisfaction is due to the expectation that financial investments over the past few years would create the mythical end-to-end supply chain visibility provider that has long been sought by shippers and logistics providers. The one solution that fits all does not exist. Julian Cody, CEO of visibility provider Wakio, told the JOC, these are beautiful ideas that aren't reality. The hype is over and the focus needs to be on product depth. And then, talking about market segmentation, let me see, aside from data quality concerns, fragmentation has put downward pressure on the size and length of contract shippers are willing to sign. Let's see, P44 wants to have a large network and Kites wants to have a lot of functionalities, said Lucian Bessie, Chief Operating Officer at Shipio. Sorry, guys, sometimes my mouth works faster than my brain. And our route is we want to have very high quality data. As for why shippers might be slightly underwhelmed, there's a reason that no one has cracked the code yet. You have to acknowledge doing visibility and doing it right. It's a crazy hard job, he said. It's hard to get carrier connections, even harder to get data quality right, and even harder to do something with it. You don't need the precision. What you need is context to understand the general expectation. I think that, all right, so this is a really, really good article. There's some other points that, I'm not looking over, but I'm summarizing. And I want you guys to read this one because this is another opportunity, because there's a lot of plug and play things. You might be looking at this as, this is ocean freight. I don't have ocean freight, but a lot of the concerns that are listed out in this article are directly associated with over the road. Directly associated with it. And a lot of the similar things, plug and play, visibility on OTR as opposed to visibility on the ocean, a lot of similar concerns. So I would definitely read this article. Obviously, you guys all upload that links. My man, Eric Johnson, I'm gonna have to get him back on the show because he's fucking great at his job. Shippers bemoan lack of progress in ocean visibility despite heavy investment. I think that, again, looking at it from the macro scale, what you think is important to your prospects might be vastly different than what's actually important to your prospects. So have those conversations, you guys. Get out there and actually listen, not talk, right? Because I think as a sales rep at times, and fuck, I'm just as guilty as this. You guys, I talk doing the show every single day. Listen to your prospects, have penetrating questions, sit down and hear them out by what they're looking for in their job and what's going to make their job easy, right? Because I think as a service provider, whether you're a freight forwarder, whether you're a broker, whatever, like we're fucking glorified. Well, all we are is middlemen, right? That's literally all we are. I don't own the freight and I don't own the equipment, but I'm managing that capacity. I'm providing that capacity. But and it's balancing that out. What's important to my carrier partners is equally as important to what's needed by my shipping partners. Because at the end of the day, as a broker, I have nothing if I don't balance that market out. So I think that, again, there's a lot of stuff to learn from this. When there's market increases, market decreases, whatever it is, look at the data, hear this stuff out, and then apply it to your business, and you can see a difference out there. But I think I'm going to take up some of my shipper friends and hit them up and see if we can get them to do a Q&A with me on Friday to add to that for you guys out there. But that's going to be it for today, you guys, the Freight Coach Morning Show. As always, if you guys saw value in this, subscribe and share the show. Rank the show on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Get it out there, you guys, because if you see value, your network's going to see value in it as well. That's how we reach more people. That's how we are the top show in the industry, is because of each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.